The Steelers hope to steal a little Christmas joy from the Las Vegas Raiders.
Throws it under duress, and it is intercepted. Cam Sutton takes it away from Hunter Renfrow.
And we've got more from an action-packed day on the gridiron.
Josh Tate's going to keep it, going to try to run it himself around the right side. Josh heads to the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Buffalo.
This is Sports Center All Night.
This is Sports Center All Night on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, and a very Merry Christmas to you. I'm Chris Sylvester. Hope you are enjoying the holiday weekend. 3 more NFL games on the docket today, much less crowded than every other Sunday this time of year. But the bulk of the Week 16 schedule was played on Christmas Eve Saturday. It featured 11 games around the National Football League, and no matchup had more hype than the 2 best from the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys, Saturday afternoon from Jerry's World, AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. The Eagles, an NFL best 13-1 coming in. A victory over Dallas Saturday would clinch the division, and Philly, the number 1 overall seed in the NFC for the postseason. No Jalen Hurts for the Eagles, out with a shoulder sprain. So in steps Gardner Minshew at quarterback. He leads the Eagles to a field goal on their first possession, and then it was time for that Philadelphia defense to flex its muscle.
Prescott under center. Motion. This time, play action. And the pass is intercepted. He let it go, and it's intercepted. It's picked up by Josh Sweat. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Josh Sweat.
So 10-0. Philadelphia jumps out to an early lead on the road at Dallas. Kind of shades of that first meeting when these two teams met back in mid-October in Philadelphia. The Eagles jumped out to a 20-0 lead in that game. But this time around, Dak Prescott was at the controls of the Cowboy offense, and Dak Prescott was just getting started, trailing 10-7 in the second.
Snap back, throws the ball deep to the middle, Lamb at the 5, stop, spin, dances in. Touchdown Cowboys, and their first lead on Christmas Eve.
105.3 The Fan had the call. 14 straight for Dallas after falling behind 10-0. But it was Philly leading at the half, 2017. Third quarter now, Eagles still up 3. Gardner Minshew eyes Devontae Smith downfield.
Play action, pass, caught, touchdown, wide open, Devontae Smith. Beautiful play action. Devontae Smith had nobody around him, and he backed his way into the end zone and said, I've got it.
Sports Radio 94 WIP. So no Jalen Hurts, no problem. Philly's offense was rolling with Minshew at the controls, but every time you thought the Eagles would maybe start to pull away, Dallas had a response. And late in the third quarter, down 7, Dak Prescott fired a game-tying strike.
4-man rush, empty gun. Prescott escapes out to the right. Chased. Gallup. Touchdown Cowboys.
Again, 105.3 The Fan. The game was shaping up to be everything we had hoped it would be. Tied at 27. Going into the fourth quarter, both teams traded a touchdown. So now tied at 34. Philly on the move. In plus territory. The Dallas defense steps up and makes a big play.
Snap back, wants to throw, quickly out. Ball's caught. Watkins, wait a minute. Did Bland intercept that? Bland is with the ball. Bland has stolen the ball from Quez Watkins, his 5th of the year.
So right after the turnover, Dallas would march into Eagles territory, knock through a go-ahead field goal, 37-34 Dallas, and it's the Cowboy defense forcing Philadelphia into another turnover on the ensuing play.
1st and 10 from the 25. Gives it to Sanders. Fumble the ball. It's rolling loose, still rolling loose. Oh, horrible things are happening on the ground there. Nasty, mean things are happening, one human to another, at the bottom of that pile. And the Cowboys have recovered a fumble.
And you thought after that takeaway, Dallas would be in the clear, but the Philly defense would keep the Eagles in this game. They force another Dallas field goal, so down 6 and a timeout left. Gardner Minshew leads the Eagle offense back into the red zone, going for the win. It would come down to a 4th and 10 at the Dallas 19.
Minshew back, 4-man rush. Here they come. He heaves it back into the end zone. The ball's on the ground, incomplete. The Cowboy defense was equal to the task that time. The Cowboys are going to take it over with 14 seconds left.
One more time, 105.3 The Fan. And Dallas survives at home. They erase a double-figure second-half deficit. And on a day where Philly, without Jalen Hurts, still racked up 442 yards of total offense, it was the Cowboy defense that made the game's biggest plays down the stretch, and they win it 40-34, keeping those slim division hopes alive and handing the Philadelphia Eagles just their second loss of the season. Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy talked about his defense's effort on a day where Dallas forced 4 turnovers.
If you were down on the field, you would have felt the pressure. I mean,
would also
Skips inside into the end zone, touchdown. It's a 70-yard pick six for the rookie Marcus Jones, and maybe exactly the spark New England needs.
Only third quarter points in this game came courtesy of that Marcus Jones pick six. In the fourth quarter, Pat's a little closer. It's now 22-12 Cincinnati, and a chance to skinny the gap even further. The New England offense got a little good fortune.
Bengals rush just 3. Here's Mac Jones, flush from the pocket. Runs to his left, then to his right, finds some space. Now heaves it down the field towards the end zone. Bounced around, and it's caught for the touchdown. Jacoby Myers for a 48-yard New England Patriots touchdown. The ball deflected into Myers' hands for the score, and don't go anywhere.
Well, not how they drew it up, but 18 unanswered from New England, and the Patriots all but turned this game on its head. Cincinnati was cruising up 22-0 at halftime, but late in the fourth, Pats down 4, a chance to take the lead with a touchdown. New England at the Cincinnati 5. Oh, but the Bengals defense was Johnny on the spot when the ball came loose.
Mac Jones, handoff. Stevens is straight ahead, nothing doing. They'll throw him back. See if that football came out.
Fumble.
The Bengals say they have the football.
Fumble.
And they do.
Wow.
Ramondre Stevenson.
Cincinnati comes up big with a strip here.
Big time takeaway late in the game, and Cincinnati, anything but easy for the Bengals in the second half. They hang on 22-18 over New England. The Bengals win their 7th straight and remain atop the AFC North. As for the Patriots, their playoff hopes took a hit, and a considerable one at that. They fall to 7-8. After the game, Steve Levy and Rob Ninkovich on ESPN Radio weighed in on the near miraculous comeback in New England.
Thank you, Chris. Back here in Foxborough. People are going to see the final score, and the final score will not tell the whole story. Cincinnati Bengals, a 4-point win in New England. And the Bengals might go on to do some great things. They really got tested. They were shut out in the second half here by the Patriots.
Yeah, Cincinnati, they got to learn a lesson from this one because they had a great first half of football, went in at halftime, come back out, and they didn't look like the same team. They didn't have the same execution. You have turnovers. The Patriots defense, they come out and they create a turnover. They score on defense, and it really gave the Patriots a spark, but not enough to win this football game. You look at Cincinnati, they're able to come through at the end, fumbling the football. Chase fumbles the football. Matthew Judon makes a great strip. Basically gives the Patriots an opportunity to win, but it wasn't the case. The defense comes up huge with a strip, and they get the football back, and that was basically the game. So, again, Cincinnati, they're going to have to learn from this one because you can't play like that in the playoffs and expect to win. You have to play a complete game for 4 quarters, and that's going to be vital for them moving forward.
A couple of missed extra – well, actually, we really have 4 missed extra points in the game, 3 in the end. 1 was wiped out by a penalty, so could have been 4, but that played a large role in terms of play calling down the stretch and how the game was different if you were trailing by 2 or 3 as opposed to trailing by 4.
Well, I also think that that's another lesson to be learned because from here on out, you're going to play in cold weather environments. So we know that Cincinnati, they're going to play in a cold weather game moving forward. So, again, making sure that you capitalize on your opportunity, kicking those extra points are vital at the end of this game. You'd have been trying to tie this game up or win it if you made your field goals early in the game.
Pats had them where they wanted them. Had a first and goal at the Bengals 5 going in to win the game. What about New England now? They dropped down to 7-8, really up against it with the Dolphins coming here next week.
Yeah, no, this is going to be tough. Look, the Patriots are in a weird position. They've really never been 7-8 at this point in the season. They've always been a lot farther in the standings. So I think they're going to have to, again, move on to Miami. It's a division game. They're still in the hunt. They still have an opportunity here to squeeze into the playoffs. It might be really hard considering they're going to play a Miami team that we know can score a lot of points. And the only thing that I see could be in their favor, it was 4 degrees today. So Miami coming up here.
Right.
Granted, Miami did a great job last week in Buffalo. They scored a lot of points, which nobody thought that they were going to be able to do that. It's going to come down to the last 2 games of the year for the Patriots. They're still in it, but they're going to have to have a little bit of help.
Bengals improved to 11-4. They'll play the Buffalo Bills next week in an AFC showdown on Monday Night Football. For Rob Ninkovich, I'm Steve Levy right here on your home for the Football Sunday Game of the Week, ESPN Radio. Now let's go back to Chris Sylvester in the studio.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Rob. Good stuff out there in Foxborough. Hey, be a part of Sports Center All Night Nation on the Dr. Pepper call-in line. Call us at 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. The ESPN Nation is presented by Dr. Pepper. It ain't college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve. Still to come, a thriller in Minnesota. How the Giants-Vikings game was won, plus plenty more to break down from the 11 games played on Christmas Eve around the NFL. Merry Christmas from all of us at ESPN Radio. You're listening to Sports Center All Night.
This is Keyshawn Johnson from Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Wishing you a happy holiday season from all of us here at ESPN Radio.
This is Sports Center All Night.
With gas prices at an all-time high, you're probably looking for ways to cut costs, like no more road trips, restaurants, movies, basically no more fun. But there's a better solution. Rocket Money helps rev up your finances so you're ready for whatever comes your way. The app tracks your spending and gives you real-time alerts so you never overdraft again. With the app, You can see all your subscriptions at a glance and cancel the ones you don't want in seconds. Rocket Money can even lower your bills by up to 20%. No calls to customer service required. Plus, you can put your savings on autopilot so you can build up cash without ever having to think about it. Our users report that the Rocket Money app saved them more than $700 a year. With Rocket Money, you can get your finances headed in the right direction so you don't have to put the brakes on everything you love to do. To learn more, go to rocketmoney.com/stream to download today. Or download the Rocket Money app from the Apple app or Google Play stores.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Jane doesn't mind an apartment with no elevator.
5 flights of stairs is 5 plates of cardio.
Bob is a little less enthusiastic about stairs.
I hate stairs.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle renters and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Jane and Bob found an apartment that's a 4-story walk-up. And Bob?
Yeah, there's a freight elevator she doesn't know about.
What were you talking about?
Oh, nothing.
Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
Shopify presents cool sheets from aha to lying awake while you bake isn't cool. I suffered from the wrong kind of hot in bed, heat-induced insomnia. That was my aha moment. Bed sheets that keep you cool. Then I thought, how do I even sell bed sheets? That's when I had the idea that made it all possible, signing up on Shopify. With the help of Shopify's intuitive online store creator, I started selling sustainable bamboo sheets that keep cool year-round. And my cool idea became a reality. Hot sleepers around the world rejoice. Shopify makes it simple to keep your cool while starting and growing your business. Start selling with Shopify today and join the commerce platform powering millions of businesses worldwide. From aha to anything is possible.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Start selling online today. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/play. Shopify.com/play.
Ho, ho, ho. Tommy John's end of year sale is on right now. So if, like me, you've been working hard this holiday season, it's time to treat yourself to the underwear and loungewear you really wanted at the best price ever. I may even pick something up for Mrs. Claus, too. When you start the year in Tommy John, you're that much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John underwear, loungewear, and pajamas have dozens of comfort innovations, like luxuriously soft tri-blend and micromodal fabrics with 4-way stretch and no lint balls or fuzz. With over 18 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, people love their Tommy Johns. This is Tommy John's final sale of the year, and like 2022, it's ending soon. Shop Tommy John's end-of-year sale now for up to 70% off at TommyJohn.com/stream. Save up to 70% at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Hey there, I'm Julie Foudy from the podcast Laughter Permitted. It has been so much fun to watch women's sports just crush it on so many fronts, especially over these past few years. But did you know, even though 84% of fans are interested in watching women's sports, female athletes receive only a fraction of that media coverage? Our friends at Ally believe when we invest in women's sports, we invest in women's futures. And this year, they launched their Watch the Game, Change the Game movement with a commitment to equal investment. Yes, I said equal in women's sports media. So join the movement and be a part of that change. If you want to learn more, check out watchtochange.com, because we're all better off with an ally.
This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
SportsCenter all night. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Chris Sylvester with you. Well, the New York Giants at the Minnesota Vikings Saturday. New York in the playoffs with a victory against a Minnesota team that has already clinched its division. The NFC South belongs to the Minnesota Vikings. Saturday, welcoming in a New York Giants team, trying to make it 2 straight, but it was the Vikings who jumped out to a 10-0 lead. Giants would respond. They scored 13 unanswered. So Minnesota trailing at home in the 4th for the first time all day when Kirk Cousins found TJ Hawkinson for a second time in the end zone.
Three receivers left, Thielen right. 3rd and 5 from the 15. Giants blitz. Cousins lofts it to the end zone. TJ Hawkinson. Yes! Touchdown, Vikings!
So you heard that one on the Vikings radio network. Career day for Hawkinson. A career best 13 catches, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. Vikings back in front in the fourth. They were up 8 over the Giants in the final minutes of the game when New York put the ball in the hands of its best playmaker.
2:07 to go. Vikings by 8. 4th and 2 at the 27. Jones in a shotgun set. Barkley to his right.
Saquon scores, and the Giants' 2-point conversion successful. So 24-24, the game tied. Minnesota marches across the 50, but not much further than that. His 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. Vikings back in front in the fourth. They were up 8 over the Giants in the final minutes of the game when New York put the ball in the hands of its best playmaker.
2:07 to go. Vikings by 8. 4th and 2 at the 27. Jones in a shotgun set. Barkley to his right. Jones calls out signals. Takes the snap. Handoff Barkley. Runs up the middle. He's got a first down. Barkley still on his feet. To the 10 to the 5. Touchdown Saquon Barkley with 2:01 to go.
Saquon scores, and the Giants' 2-point conversion successful. So 24-24, the game tied. Minnesota marches across the 50, but not much further than that. So in the final seconds, the Vikings trot out Greg Joseph to try a 61-yarder for the win.
Snap spot. Joseph with a big leg and Merry Christmas, Minnesota Vikings fans. The Vikings have beaten the Giants 27-24. It's Joseph from 61. Wow!
The Minnesota Vikings radio network brought you that moment. A franchise record field goal wins it for the Vikings, and Minnesota sets an NFL record with their 11th one-score win of the season, 27-24 over the Giants. The Vikings improved to 12-3. Giants will have to wait another week to clinch a playoff bid. New York now 8-6-1. They will host Indianapolis next week. Out west in San Francisco, Brock Purdy and the 49ers going for an 8th straight in the win column, hosting the Washington Commanders Saturday. Took a while for these offenses to get going. Scoreless more than halfway through the second quarter. The Niners turned to a wide receiver run to light the lamp at Levi's.
Ray goes in jet sweep motion, orbit motion. They give it to him and a handoff back. Turns the corner down the sideline. He's gone. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Greg Papa on KNBR. That part of a 99-yard scoring drive put together by the Niners. But Washington would have a response. Commanders score a touchdown in the final minute of the first half to tie the game at 7. Still tied at 7 in the third quarter. Brock Purdy puts San Francisco up for good.
Ray McLeod goes in motion, right lines outside of Kittle. Dewan Jennings slided inside of Ayuk left. McCaffrey circles out right. Purdy time. Purdy going to throw for the end zone. Wide open. George Kittle. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Again, Greg Papa on KNBR, one of 2 touchdown catches for Kittle on Sunday. And the Niners don't look back. They outscore Washington 30-13 in the second half, 37-20 the final score.
Geico presents Daily Affirmations.
Repeat after me. We are filled with an abundance of joy.
We are filled with an abundance of joy.
Also an abundance of questions. Good thing Geico has 24/7 claim service to help answer questions and resolve claims quickly.
Good thing Geico has 24/7 claim service.
We are also filled with an abundance of biscuits.
We are also filled with, I don't think it works this way.
Oh, and jam. Don't forget jam.
To manifest more Geico in your life, go to geico.com.
Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO, Showtime. How many streaming services are you paying for? Better question, how many do you actually watch? Odds are you're paying for subscriptions you're not using. Why? Because getting out of subscriptions often feels like more trouble than it's worth. Not anymore. Just download the Rocket Money app. Rocket Money is the #1 subscription tracker, manager, and canceller all in one. Connect your accounts and instantly you'll see a complete picture of all your recurring subscriptions in one easy-to-use interface. Rocket Money organizes your subscriptions by due date and notifies you when something is coming up. Now, instead of waiting on hold for the better part of an hour while you connect to a customer service representative, cancel that subscription immediately with a tap right from the app, and Rocket Money will handle the rest. To find out more about all the awesome personal finance features packed into Rocket Money, go to rocketmoney.com/stream to download today. Or download the Rocket Money app from the Apple app or Google Play stores. Rocket Money, the money app that works for you.
When Shopify says you can sell anywhere, oh, they mean it. Woo, hold up. Just got a new sale. Order fulfilled and shipped. Inventory level's good. Whoa, Shopify doesn't mind if you're at sea level or on top of the world. You can run and grow your business anywhere. Climbing mountains is never easy, but at least Shopify gives me all the tools I need for my business to hit new peaks.
Whether you're selling carabiners or crop tops, start selling with Shopify today and join the platform simplifying commerce for millions of businesses worldwide. We've built the platform so you can keep climbing and grow your business to new heights.
With Shopify, you really can sell to anyone from anywhere.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Start selling online today. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/play. 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 Internet connection required. Not available on mountaintops or seafloors.
Tommy John's end-of-year sale is on right now. So, if like me, you've been working hard this holiday season, it's time to treat yourself to the underwear and loungewear you really wanted at the best price ever. I may even pick something up for Mrs. Claus, too. When you start the year in Tommy John, you're that much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John underwear, loungewear, and pajamas have dozens of comfort innovations, like luxuriously soft tri-blend and micromodal fabrics with 4-way stretch and no lint balls or fuzz. With over 18 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, people love their Tommy Johns. This is Tommy John's final sale of the year, and like 2022, it's ending soon. Shop Tommy John's end-of-year sale now for up to 70% off at TommyJohn.com/stream. Save up to 70% at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Hey there, I'm Julie Foudy alongside Lynn Olzawi from the podcast Laughter Permitted. It's been so much fun to watch women's sports just crush it on so many fronts over these past few years, especially. But did you know, even though 84% of fans are interested in watching women's sports, female athletes receive only a fraction of media coverage?
Our friends at Ally believe when we invest in women's sports, we invest in women's futures. So this year they launched their Watch the Game, Change the Game movement with a commitment to equal investment. Yes, you heard that right. Equal investment in women's sports media.
Not sure if you've seen Ally's most recent big move, but they helped get the NWSL Championship game upgraded to prime time on CBS for the first time in history. Yes, this is disruption. This has impact for generations to come. So join the movement and be part of that change. If you want to learn more, check out watchtochange.com, because we're all better off with an ally.
This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance, the insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs. For protection on the road and on the water, see how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
Half-hour headlines on Sports Center all night.
The Bengals win their 7th straight. 49ers capture an 8th straight win on Saturday. 5 NBA games, 3 NFL games headline the Christmas Day slate. And the Dallas Cowboys come back to beat the Philadelphia Eagles to keep the NFC East race open for another week.
Minshew back, 4-man rush. Here they come. He heaves it. Back into the end zone. The ball's on the ground, incomplete. The Cowboy defense was equal to the task that time. The Cowboys are going to take it over with 14 seconds left.
105.3 The Fan. Christmas Eve's marquee matchup was dubbed the Eagles at the Cowboys, and it lived up to the hype. Dallas erases a 10-point second-half deficit to keep those NFC East hopes alive. Dak Prescott, who didn't play in a Dallas loss at Philly back in mid-October, he was out there today and threw for more than 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in the win. He weighed in on the victory after the game.
I mean, that comes from, I guess, a kid. I mean, when you're a younger brother, you get beat up and you take a lot of losses, and the only way to keep going is by responding. And showing that whatever happened last play really doesn't matter. It's all about the next play, and that's who I am. Obviously, we've got Chad, a great middle coach who talks about just staying neutral, the good, the bad, whatever it is, thinking about the next, controlling the next, and that's all you can really do. So that's a great example right there. Obviously, throw interception, put the team down 10-0 to start the game off, and just understand I can't change that. Thinking about that won't change that. Now I just got to move forward one play at a time and be my best.
So the Cowboys beat the Eagles Saturday, but Philly's still in good shape to not only win the NFC East, but clinch the NFC's top seed in the playoffs. ESPN NFL analyst Booger McFarland and ESPN host Chris Berman on NFL Primetime think both teams are walking away from this matchup with a lot of things to be happy about.
Dallas returned the favor. Dallas went to Philly with the backup quarterback, and Philly won. Philly came to Dallas with the backup quarterback, and Dallas won. I think both teams feel really good that if they're full strength and they play in the playoffs, it's going to be one hell of a game. Here's the thing I'll say. If you're Dallas, can you continue to get the playmaking ability outside of CeeDee Lamb? Michael Gallup showed up today. If you're the Eagles, can your defensive backfield hold up? They gave a ton of pass plays today. They normally don't give up.
Yeah, they did. And they usually get the sacks.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Turn the ball over in a big game. They know. Look, Minshew he had a couple of 10-point leads. He's fun to watch because he keeps everybody in the game. We love the guy.
He showed well for a backup quarterback today. He should be proud of himself.
Yeah, he hasn't played in a year.
Absolutely.
Right?
He showed well, yes.
But Dallas gets the win. They're in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs. This is the first time in a long while that they've been 2 straight years. Maybe this year is different now.
Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. The Buffalo Bills 8-point favorites at the Chicago Bears Saturday, trying to stay in position as the AFC's top seed. Trailing at halftime, Buffalo down 10-6 early in the third, but Devin Singletary would help the Bills wake up.
Allen in the shotgun, hands it off. Devin Singletary finds a crease. Singletary on the run, 20, 15, 10, inside the 5. Pulls his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. Devin Singletary, 33 yards for the go-ahead touchdown.
Audio courtesy of the Bills Radio Network. All Bills, all second half. Buffalo outscores the Bears 29-3 in the final 2 quarters. They win, and they cover 35-13. Buffalo now sits at 12-3. Bills at the Bengals next week, then back home to host New England. Kansas City doesn't have the head-to-head tiebreaker with Buffalo, but still trying to keep pace. Chiefs hosting the Seattle Seahawks Saturday. KC up a touchdown in the second quarter. Patrick Mahomes helps balloon the lead.
McKinnon is the running back. Kelsey, tip-tap motion in the face, across the face of Mahomes, left to right. Mahomes, quick pass, near flag, caught. McKinnon at the 5, trying to bounce off a hit, drives the Seahawks into the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. Jerick McKinnon continues his incredible season, and Mahomes with his second touchdown pass of the game.
You heard that one on 106.5 The Wolf. Kansas City scores the first 17 points of the game, and they do not look back. Tough for the Seahawks to get anything going on Saturday. Chiefs win 24-10. They keep pace in the AFC, tied with Buffalo atop the league with a 12-3 record. From the AFC's best to the AFC's worst, one win Houston. At Tennessee, the Titans struggling, having lost 4 straight coming in. Malik Willis is the guy moving forward with Ryan Tannehill out for the season. And this game was tight throughout. Fourth quarter, Titans up a point when Houston would grab a late lead.
Davis gets the snap, looking, stepping to his left. Mills throwing to the end zone. Caught by Brandon Cooks. Touchdown, Houston. Flag is down, but the Texans take the lead.
Sports Radio 610 had the call. Houston takes a late lead, and the Texans defense picks off Malik Willis on back-to-back possessions to end the game. The Titans are spiraling in the wrong direction. They lose a 5th straight, 19-14 the final. Houston snaps a 9-game skid, and they win just their second game of the season. Saints at the Browns Saturday. Cleveland led 10-0 early, but the Saints would rally to tie it, and they'd have a chance at their first lead when they called upon Alvin Kamara late in the third quarter on the road.
Snap by Dalton. They do get it off. Kamara, middle of the field, breaks away. Kamara takes it in for the touchdown. Alvin Kamara ran into big-time traffic, busted it to the left, and wow.
Neither side would score in the fourth, and the Saints complete the comeback in Cleveland. 17-10 the final. New Orleans still very much alive in the NFC South, now just half a game behind the Bucs for the top spot in the division. Tampa Bay will visit Arizona on Christmas Day later on today as the lone primetime game in the NFL. Well, Christmas Eve Battle of the Birds in Baltimore. Atlanta Falcons in town to visit the Ravens. No Lamar Jackson, Tyler Huntley, another start for Baltimore at quarterback. And with his team up 6-0 in the second, Huntley helped stretch the Ravens' lead.
3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Huntley out of the shotgun in the empty backfield. Lobs in the back of the end zone. Looking for Demarcus Robinson. He makes the catch. Touchdown, Ravens. And the red zone drought is over.
WBAL AM 1090 with the call. That was the only Baltimore touchdown on the day, but it turned out to be just enough. Baltimore's defense was terrific, and the Ravens clinch a playoff berth with a 17-9 win over the Falcons, improving to 10-5 on the season. Baltimore will host Pittsburgh and visit Cincinnati before the postseason begins. Well, the Detroit Lions, winners in 6 of their last 7, a 2-point road favorite at the Carolina Panthers on Saturday. Carolina, despite sitting at 5-9, still in the NFC South hunt. That's how much of a struggle that division has been this year. Tied at 7 in the second quarter, Sam Darnold would call his own number.
Darnold in the gun, form in the back, 2 receivers right. Darnold the snap. It's a zone read. Darnold keeps, angles left. Touchdown, Carolina.
Well, you heard that one on the Panthers radio network, and that was the theme of the day. The Lions defense had no answer for the run. Carolina goes for 320 on the ground, and they run away from Detroit. 37-23 the final score. Panthers will win the NFC South with victories over the Bucs and the Saints in the final 2 weekends of the regular season, something I don't think anybody even thought was possible when Matt Rule was fired earlier in the season. Saturday's primetime game was in the Steel City. A couple of 6 and 8 teams trying to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. The Las Vegas Raiders, Pittsburgh Steelers, on a night where Pittsburgh was honoring the Immaculate Reception team from 50 years ago. And, of course, the late Franco Harris, who passed earlier in the week. not a whole lot of scoring on a freezing night in Pittsburgh. Fourth quarter, Vegas up 10-6. Steelers had struggled in and around the red zone all night. Chris Boswell missed a pair of field goals. But with time dwindling in the fourth, Kenny Pickett stepped up in the pocket and found George Pickens for the go-ahead strike.
Shotgun snap. 4-man rush. Fires for the end zone. Touchdown. George Pickens. And the Steelers forge ahead with just 46 seconds left. Pickett to Pickens.
WDVE 102.5 FM had the call. And the Steelers, boy, they only led for a short amount of time, but it wasn't too little too late on this night in the Steel City. Pittsburgh grabs their first lead of the game in the final minute at home, and they put away the Las Vegas Raiders' postseason hopes. 13-10, the final score. Steelers improved to 7-8. They've got Baltimore on the road and the Browns at home to finish the regular season. Well, tough night, tough season for the Las Vegas Raiders. But on Saturday in the Hawaii Bowl, there was the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee taking on San Diego State, a matchup between Conference USA and Mountain West. The Aztecs, a 7.5-point favorite. And at the jump, the odds makers looked great, up 14-0 after the first quarter. But then Middle Tennessee woke up. They scored 13 in the second to make it a 1-point game at the half. And it would stay tight to the finish. Late fourth quarter, San Diego State up a point when the Blue Raiders summon Zeke Rankin for the go-ahead field goal attempt.
37-yard field goal attempt. The crowd gets loud. Zeke Rankin to give the Blue Raiders the lead. Snap, spot, kick up on its way. Hooking. It is good. He got it inside the left upright. A couple of double fist pumps for Zeke Rankin. Knocks home his fourth field goal of the day, and it's Middle Tennessee State leading by 2.
Well, Kevin Winter had the call right here on ESPN Radio. Middle Tennessee holds on. They come on back. The Blue Raiders knock off San Diego State 25-23 to win the 2022 Easy Post Hawaii Bowl. Well, still to come, top sounds from a busy Saturday in the NFL. This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio.
Hi, this is Max Kellerman from Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. All of us here at ESPN Radio would like to wish you happy holidays and a happy new year.
More SportsCenter all night. Next.
Football season is underway, so now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Just sign up with promo code PLAY. FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line to point spreads to player props. So sign up today with promo code PLAY for your no-sweat first bet. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, and Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP Louisiana. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789 in Tennessee. 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia.
Every college football season, Goodyear knows the importance of winning on the road. The road will always demand confidence. The confidence to handle whatever the journey brings and to perform under tough conditions. And just like the players and fans of college football, Goodyear is ready. Are you ready for the road? Visit Goodyear.com to find the right Goodyear tires for whatever road you're on this season. Goodyear, more driven. As part of its goal to make homes and hometowns better for all, Lowe's has committed $100 million to make a positive impact in local communities through its Lowe's Hometowns program. Each year through 2026, people across the country can nominate their hometown projects in need.
Lowe's Hometowns will help restore and revitalize community spaces from gardens, parks, and food pantries to neighborhood housing, community centers, and much more. Visit lowes.com/hometowns for details on how you can nominate a project in your community starting January 23rd. With other lenders, it can feel like they're calling the wrong plays. Not Cross Country Mortgage. They're the masterminds behind perfect play calling. Go with them, and your home loan experience will end in a victory parade in your new neighborhood. You're the perfect free agent to sign with the best loan originators in the game, and Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done. Reach out to them today at ccm.com. That's ccm.com. Equal housing opportunity. All loans subject to underwriting approval. Cross Country Mortgage, LLC, NMLS 3029, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Glad you're with us. SportsCenter all night. ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. Chris Sylvester and our entire crew wishing you a very Merry Christmas. And if you haven't done so already, it's still not too late to leave the carrots for the reindeer and the cookies for Santa Claus. All right, let's jump in to Saturday's top sounds. Saturday's top game was at Jerry's World, no doubt about that. The Eagles and Cowboys, and Dak Prescott was at his best on the big stage.
Snap back, throws the ball deep to the middle. Lamb at the 5. Stop, spin, dances in. Touchdown Cowboys and their first lead on Christmas Eve.
Oh, you heard that one on 105.3 The Fan, one of 3 touchdown passes on the day. Prescott and the Cowboys and the Eagles, their second loss of the season. A lot of offense in Dallas, not so much in New England Saturday, especially not in the second half. With the Pats down 22-0 at home, this time they were on the right side of a Jones pick six.
Blitz coming for a releases, and it's picked off, intercepted by the Patriots. Marcus Jones down the sideline, skips inside into the end zone, touchdown. It's a 70-yard pick six for the rookie Marcus Jones, and maybe exactly the spark New England needs.
Well, the Patriots would score 18 unanswered in the second half, but it's the Bengals who hold on to win and keep on winning their 7th straight, 22-18 over New England. You heard that one from our Steve Levy right here on ESPN Radio. Well, Kansas City didn't have much trouble with Seattle on Saturday at home. Patrick Mahomes shined bright once again, but it was a milestone moment for the Chiefs' star tight end, Travis Kelce.
She's fake a handoff. Mahomes goes over the middle. Kelce catch at the 35. Moves to the right side, and Kelce's 800th career catch is a gain of 20 yards. And for Travis Kelce now, 800 career receptions. 17 games faster to that point than any tight end in NFL history. He does it in his 142nd game.
Hey, there's no question the game is changing at that tight end spot. You got to thank a guy like Travis Kelce for doing so. You heard that one on 106.5 The Wolf. Hey, 50 years since the Immaculate Reception. Pittsburgh honored that team on Saturday and hosted the Las Vegas Raiders. It took Pittsburgh about 59 minutes to find the end zone in this one, but the moment was well worth the wait for those fans freezing through the night in the Steel City.
Shotgun snap, 4-man rush, fires for the end zone, touchdown, George Jenkins, and the Steelers forge ahead with just 46 seconds left. Pickett to Pickens.
And so the Raiders' postseason hopes have come and gone. Pittsburgh, still a slim chance to find their way into the postseason, now 7-8. That moment on WDVE 102.5 FM. And our top sound from Saturday was a franchise record in Minnesota. Vikings and Giants tied at 24 late. Minnesota trots out Greg Joseph to attempt a 61-yard field goal.
Snap spot. Joseph with a big leg and Merry Christmas, Minnesota Vikings fans. The Vikings have beaten the Giants 27-24. It's Joseph from 61. Wow!
A franchise record and a game winner as the Minnesota Vikings eke past the New York Giants 27-24. You heard that one on KFan and the Minnesota Vikings radio network. Well, those were Saturday's top sounds. 3 NFL games, 5 NBA games, and some college hoops on the docket today. Tune in to an NBA doubleheader today as the Boston Celtics host the Milwaukee Bucks, followed by the Memphis Grizzlies on the road at the defending champ Golden State Warriors. Coverage begins at 4:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Well, to wrap top sounds, you just heard the thrilling finish between the New York Giants and Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota set an NFL record with their 11th one-score win of the season, while the Giants were on the wrong end of another down-to-the-wire finish. ESPN's Booger McFarland and Chris Berman on NFL Primetime talk about the close calls for both teams all season, including Saturday.
1 is an accident, 2 is a trend. 11? That would be solid proof. 11-0 in one-score games? That's way beyond comprehension.
Well, we always talk about things that make up good teams. We talk about offense, defense, special teams. I'm going to give you a couple more. Mental toughness, resiliency. This team has those. 11-0 in one-score games. That means they don't panic. They understand what they want to do. And when the ball is in a position where I need to make a play, they're going to go to Justin Jefferson. They know who they are. To me, this team, you may not like their defense. Their defense is not really good.
No.
But this offense and the mental toughness of this team is outstanding.
And Justin Jefferson passed also Chris Carter for most catches, Vikings record. I mean, Randy and Chris are the 2 Hall of Famers.
Yes.
The Giants, look, moral victories, no. But they played better than a team that in their last 8, is it? Or 2-5-1. I understand they lost and they could have won the game, but we'll discuss the big picture of the wild card in a moment when we get the other results. They played a strong game, I thought, for the most part.
They did. The quarterback, Daniel Jones, has one of his best days as a pro against that defense. Saquon Barkley ran tough. It's just the little things. You heard Brian Daboll talk about it. A couple of turnovers, a miss here, a miss there. It's the little things that's the biggest difference between winning and losing in this league. And right now, the Giants aren't doing those little things. A lot of progress. The quarterback looked good, but those little things they got to clean up.
Lots to be decided for a team like the New York Giants down the stretch. A win on Saturday would have put them into the postseason picture, but a loss will have the Giants waiting one more week to try and clinch a postseason berth. A couple teams that have already clinched their spot in the postseason. 2 of the best out of the AFC, jockeying for the top seed, the Chiefs and the Bills. ESPN NFL analyst Booger McFarland really feels like those 2 are hitting their stride at the right time a few weeks from the postseason.
If you look at these 2 teams, kind of mirror images. You know, in the past, we said both quarterbacks tried to do too much. Now, if you look at Kansas City, you got Pacheco, you got McKinnon. If you look at Buffalo, they ran the football for almost over 200 yards today. You got 2 teams that the quarterbacks, even though they're superstars, are starting to get help. And now they become complete teams. So the 2 best teams in the AFC, no disrespect to Cincinnati, are starting to become complete teams, boom, just in time for the playoffs.
As for teams struggling down the stretch that looked like they'd be in a good spot to get to the postseason earlier, ESPN's Booger McFarland weighed in on the Titans and Jets struggles this month.
Boom, not just with Tennessee, you're sitting there with the Jets, good football teams that the offense is sputtering. And as a defender, you go out there and you're doing your best. And you come out all the energy, only to know that in 3 plays, you got to go right back out there because the offense can't get a first down. It starts to wear on you mentally. And when it wears on you mentally, that affects your physical play. And you're seeing that. Tennessee, a very physical, prideful team. The Jets, very physical, prideful. 2 teams that their offense just not living up to it. Therefore, the entire team is starting to be pulled down. And they're going to have to fix that not only the rest of the season, but in the offseason.
Still to come, Cowboys and Eagles lived up to the hype Saturday at Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio.
This is Keyshawn Johnson from Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Wishing you a happy holiday season from all of us here at ESPN Radio.
Hey there, I'm Julie Foudy alongside Lynn Olzawi from the podcast Laughter Permitted. It's been so much fun to watch women's sports just crush it on so many fronts over these past few years, especially. But did you know, even though 84% of fans are interested in watching women's sports, female athletes receive only a fraction of media coverage?
Our friends at Ally believe when we invest in women's sports, we invest in women's futures. So this year, they launched their Watch the Game, Change the Game movement with a commitment to equal investment. Yes, you heard that right. Equal investment in women's sports media.
Not sure if you've seen Ally's most recent big move, but they helped get the NWSL Championship game upgraded to prime time on CBS for the first time in history. Yes, this is disruption. This has impact for generations to come. So join the movement and be part of that change. If you want to learn more, check out watchtochange.com because we're all better off with an ally.
With gas prices at an all-time high, you're probably looking for ways to cut costs, like no more road trips, restaurants, movies, basically no more fun. But there's a better solution. Rocket Money helps rev up your finances so you're ready for whatever comes your way. The app tracks your spending and gives you real-time alerts so you never overdraft again. With the app, you can see all your subscriptions at a glance and cancel the ones you don't want in seconds. Rocket Money can even lower your bills by up to 20%. No calls to customer service required. Plus, you can put your savings on autopilot so you can build up cash without ever having to think about it. Our users report that the Rocket Money app saved them more than $700 a year. With Rocket Money, you can get your finances headed in the right direction so you don't have to put the brakes on everything you love to do. To learn more, go to rocketmoney.com/stream to download today. Or download the Rocket Money app from the Apple app or Google Play stores.
Shopify presents cool sheets from AHA to
lying awake while you bake isn't cool. I suffered from the wrong kind of hot in bed, heat-induced insomnia. That was my aha moment. Bed sheets that keep you cool. Then I thought, how do I even sell bed sheets? That's when I had the idea that made it all possible, signing up on Shopify. With the help of Shopify's intuitive online store creator, I started selling sustainable bamboo sheets that keep cool year-round. And my cool idea became a reality. Hot sleepers around the world rejoice. Shopify makes it simple to keep your cool while starting and growing your business. Start selling with Shopify today and join the commerce platform powering millions of businesses worldwide. From AHA to anything is possible.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Start selling online today. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/play. Shopify.com/play.
Tommy John's end-of-year sale is on right now. So, if like me, you've been working hard this holiday season, it's time to treat yourself to the underwear and loungewear you really wanted at the best price ever. I may even pick something up for Mrs. Claus, too. When you start the year in Tommy John, you're that much more comfortable, so you can do everything better. Tommy John underwear, loungewear, and pajamas have dozens of comfort innovations like luxuriously soft tri-blend and micromodal fabrics with 4-way stretch and no lint balls or fuzz. With over 18 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews, people love their Tommy Johns. This is Tommy John's final sale of the year. And like 2022, it's ending soon. Shop Tommy John's end-of-year sale now for up to 70% off at TommyJohn.com/stream. Save up to 70% at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
This is SportsCenter.
Hello there. I'm Mark Robbins. Merry Christmas. How about that NFL schedule on Christmas Eve? What a gift. Highlighted by the Eagles and Cowboys in Dallas in the back and forth game. And in the fourth quarter, tied at 34. We found out the D in Dallas stood for a little defense.
Snap back, wants to throw, quickly out. Ball's caught.
Watkins, wait a minute. Did Bland intercept that? Bland is with the ball. Bland has stolen the ball from Quez Watkins, his 5th of the year.
Nothing bland about Brad Sham with the call on 105.3. The Fan in Dallas. The Cowboys get the victory, 40-34, earning a playoff spot and keeping their divisional title hopes alive in the NFC East. In some other games on the NFL schedule, Bengals went up 22-0 on the Patriots after one half and then had to hang on late in Foxborough to beat the Pats 22-18. Steelers with Kenny Pickett to George Pickens. A TD toss with 46 seconds to go. Pittsburgh still alive in the AFC playoff chase, beating the Raiders 13-10. And the Vikings win on a 61-yard field goal, 27-24 over the Giants, keeping New York from clinching a playoff spot. San Francisco beat Washington 37-20. 3 games on the NFL schedule today, ending with Tampa Bay at Arizona, 8:20 Eastern Time. Coming up now on ESPN Radio, it's the best week ever.
Yo, this is Jay Williams from Keyshawn, J. Will and Max. All of us here at ESPN Radio would like to wish you all happy holidays and a happy new year. Cheers.
This is the best week ever with Peter Burns and Katie George on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Indeed, it is. No Peter Burns, no Katie George, Courtney Cronin, and Gabe Neitzel wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. You are listening to the best week ever on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and Sirius XM Channel 80, as always, presented by Progressive Insurance. You can tweet to us throughout the show. My handle at Courtney R. Cronin's, Gabe's at G Neitzel 16. You can also hit us up on the Dr. Pepper call-in line, 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. A jam-packed Week 16 in the NFL, Gabe. Tons of games yesterday, 11 of them to be exact, and we had some wild finishes in the NFL. We also have 3 coming up today. Packers and Dolphins kicking off the slate at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Broncos, Rams, followed by the nightcap, Buccaneers at Cardinals. And of course, it's the NBA on Christmas Day, the event that we look forward to every year at this time. We want you to be sure to tune in to an NBA doubleheader right here on ESPN Radio. Celtics hosting the Bucks, followed by Grizzlies at Warriors, coverage beginning 4:30 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN Radio and ESPN app. Gabe, good morning. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate the last day of that today. Can we finally exhale after this week 16? Because my head's still spinning.
Well, I don't think we can quite yet because we still have 3 more games that come today. And while they don't look on the surface, they don't look to be that appealing of games because we had so many good ones yesterday. There are certainly some outcomes that could make things interesting in the AFC and NFC. So, yeah, take a little breather this morning, but then we got to dive right back in at 1 p.m. Eastern.
And before we dive back in, we're going to go and recap everything that happened, everything you need to know from Week 16 with the biggest story of the week ever.
The biggest story of the week ever.
All right, so the big one in the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles without Jalen Hurts at quarterback, traveling down to Dallas to take on the Cowboys in a wild one, a shootout that ended with something like this.
1st and 10 from the 25. Gives it to Sanders. Holds on to the ball. It's rolling loose. Still rolling loose. Oh, horrible things are happening on the ground there. Nasty, mean things are happening, one human to another, at the bottom of that pile. And the Cowboys have recovered a fumble.
105.3, the Fan with the call there. Nasty, mean things happening at the bottom of that pile, Gabe. Anthony Barr, the Dallas linebacker, with the fumble recovery off a play that Miles Sanders coughed up the ball. That was the dagger for the Philadelphia Eagles, and that won the game at that point, 37-34. I feel like we've talked for so many weeks about this Dallas defense needing to show up in critical moments, and that right there was a prime example of that happening.
Yeah, so two things. Yeah, they made the big play defensively when they've been kind of reeling ever since that Vikings game when they held them to 3 points up in Minnesota. But also, I think Dak deserves some kudos here because the conversation all week long was Dak's turning the ball over too much. 10 interceptions since week 7. Why is he turning it over? Is he going to? And then he throws an inexplicable pick 6 to start the game. And they're down 10-0. And for him to recover the way he did, throw for 347 yards, 3 touchdowns, I think that's a big reason for the Cowboys as well. Getting him to play confidently in the final 2 weeks is going to be key for them when they hit the postseason.
Dak Prescott, 347 yards, passing 3 touchdowns, did it all against the number 1 pass defense in the NFL. But I also think, as we've talked about with this Cowboys defense, still trying to figure out where that pass rush is, they forced 4 turnovers